And this drill here, we're working on seated neutral position. Now keep that in mind because it will come into play later in this video. This was the first drill of the day, and the format that they have here at this training is you do some drills and then you go out on the track and you apply those drills where necessary. Watch the arms of the coach here. He's telling us to go out on the track. Nikkis like, what? Now Nikkis never been on this track, and this is a pretty brutal track, especially because over the weekend they had hundreds of riders, hundreds of laps going, and look at those ruts. And keep in mind, this is an action camera. We do not show very good depth perception. As you see though, she's making it through. If you're unfamiliar with Washougal track, we're actually headed up Horsepower Hill. And they don't just make these names up for no reason. It's pretty steep, and it was definitely one of Nikkis' concerns.
Yeah, she made it, hell yeah.
I keep looking back just to make sure she's still in her forward progression to get through this track. And I wanted her to get in front of me so I could get her on video, and she had some people to follow now, so I thought she would probably feel a little safer. The next obstacle we're coming to is the ski jump. And last time we were here, we had little kids walking their bikes down this hill because it's pretty darn steep and it's scary. But fortunately for my wife, her favorite thing to do is actually go down the hills.
Let's go, baby.
This little S-turn setup has some deep ruts. Look at those. Sheesh. And I'm not immune to ruts, so it caught me off guard there and I stalled my bike. I promise in my next few videos that will get better. I'll make my way to catch back up to Nick so I can get her in a good camera shot here. Now this whole time going on the track, I am pretty nervous for her. Obviously I don't want her to fall, but when I came out on the track for the first time today, I was extremely nervous. Not just for Nikki, but for myself, because these ruts are deep. Now this next little section here is a sand section, and it was completely rutted out during my Norks race, which was the first time I've ever been on this track. Thankfully today they had it pretty smoothed out. But even with it smoothed out, I still had a hard time hitting the step up. And the lip of this thing is pretty darn steep. Which, come to think of it, it's probably the steepest thing Nikkis ever ridden up. I know it doesn't seem that steep in the video, but trust me, it's pretty intimidating. Now this corner up here gave people a lot of trouble. You get all kinds of sorts of people that come to these clinics, and for a lot of them, this is the first time they've ever been on the track. And definitely the first time they've ever dealt with ruts. That right there is a common thing that happens, and that is why people are very nervous about ruts. It's like the dirt just reaches up and bites ya. Nikki didn't really want to try to make a maneuver to go around this guy, so she just patiently waited, which I think was the right call. By now you probably have noticed Nikki has been seated the whole time. Her understanding was we do the drill and then we go and apply it out on the track. So she tried to stay in the neutral seated position for the whole duration of the track. I let her know they just really wanted to make sure that when you were in the neutral seated position that you held that form. Not that they actually expected you to ride the whole track neutral seated position. But I have to say, she freaking killed it. Her positioning throughout the whole track looked on par. This portion of the track is pretty smooth, but it definitely looked really slippery. The night before, we got a bit of moisture, so it was a bit slippery. One thing that the ruts make you do is stare at them, which, as you can probably imagine, causes you problems later. One of the most important things to do while you're riding is keep your head up. You have to notice what obstacles are ahead of you so you have enough time to react.
Nikkis' first set of whoops.
See, look at that neutral seated position.
On the road with a motorbike, hanging around between the mountains, coast to coast, you know how to drive. Dragonflies around the sunset, can you believe we're together? We're celebrating September. What do you mean it's forever? Forever is the time to be with you.
These ruts coming up are probably some of the worst on the whole track. A little bit of tap dancing never hurt nobody. I may or may not have wrecked in this corner during that last race, but looks like Nikki made it through, no problem. This little ripper right here, he was flying. Just to let you know how difficult this track is. Up here is a spot where there's basically a water hole. And this poor guy ended up in it on the first lap of our warm-up. But he came prepared. He had a spare set of gear in his trailer.
Need some help?
Digging when we try to ride it out.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe if we all just pull, you know, we can.
Oh, God dang. Lay on its side. There we go.
Fuck yeah.
There we go.
That works.
Sweet.
Look, thanks guys.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Yeah. Completely in.
I saw him the last lap, but yeah. Sheesh. These ruts are tough, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm not used to.
I don't
ride track. I don't hardly ride at all.
I ride track, but nothing like this, dude.
Just goes to show, this track is not easy. I'm so proud of my wife for getting through this track.
Yeah, you made it, man. You made it. Good job.
Hot damn, hell yeah, girl, you killed it. Let's go. No, seriously, when you're done watching this, let's go ride.
That was scary.
Sorry about that.